What's happening, forum? Sunnie64 here, back with a quick video to talk about video games again. It's been a weird time to be a Nintendo fan lately. The Switch 2 still has everyone incredibly divided, some even making it a moral issue where if you buy one of these shiny new toys, you're pure evil for doing so. Personally, I'm enjoying the soy boy life with my Switch 2, even if the downfall of humanity is about to be upon us. While we've gotten a lot to enjoy and discuss in the early months of the system, it really seemed like we had little idea of what to expect for the end of the year and beyond. A lot of people have been waiting for a new Nintendo Direct, and you've probably seen how Nintendo fans tend to act when they don't have a new announcement every 5 minutes.
Now I'm gonna starve!
But Nintendo finally gave us that fabled Nintendo Direct for September that everyone and their dog has been clamoring for. How was it? Well... okay, maybe I'm exaggerating.
I have evil autism.
The second half of the Direct was mostly covering games people already knew were coming out, or DLC for recently released or upcoming games. I'm a little disappointed that the DK Bonanza update isn't free. Mario Odyssey got free updates up the ass back when it came out. I'm a little sad to see that they aren't doing the same here. Also, DLC for Pokemon before the game even launches is kind of concerning. It's wild how they're already pushing their luck with a DLC strategy only a few years after they introduced it, since, you know, we did away with the whole extra version at a later date thing. There were a couple interesting new reveals, like a new Fire Emblem at the tail end. I'm not a big fan of Fire Emblem, but I'm happy for those who are excited for it. I'm sure the Animal Crossing fans who are promised a new game from fake leaks are pretty upset to see that they got absolutely nothing in this Direct. Besides that, there really wasn't a whole lot here. There were some announced ports that are kind of cool. Resident Evil 9 and Final Fantasy VII Remake are fun to see running on Nintendo hardware finally. I've already played the FF7 Remake when it first came out, so I probably won't be buying this version. But if you never played it, I think you're gonna have a good opportunity to try it. It's nothing amazing, but it's a good time, I'd recommend it. I also assume that they're gonna have a demo for it like they did on PlayStation, so you might be able to try it out without spending money. With this video, I mostly wanted to cover the first portion of the Direct, being the Super Mario Bros. 40th anniversary segment. This was something I was really excited to hear about. The anniversaries for gaming's biggest icons are not something I take lightly. Pac-Man's 40th anniversary was this year, and we got 2 amazing looking games out of it. And I'm really looking forward to Sonic's 35th anniversary next year, now that the series has seemingly gotten back on its feet again. Seemingly. I noticed that this year, there's been a huge boom in Mario fan games again, and instead of shoving DMCA jokes down these developers' throats, we should really celebrate the passion we have for Mario, because it doesn't really seem like Nintendo has anywhere near as much of that as the fans do. Nintendo's always been a little weird when it came to celebrating Mario. Usually they put out some pretty low-effort stuff. In 2010, we just got a re-release of a Super Nintendo game on the Wii, Super Mario All-Stars. With no updates to the game at all, it still uses the Super Nintendo icons in the game. At least it came in a sexy-ass box. I used to see these in store shelves all the time back in the day, and they always looked so damn cool. Also, fun fact about Super Mario All-Stars on Wii, you can actually remove the disc from the system and still be able to play it because the ROM is downloaded into the system's RAM while you run it. In 2015, we got Super Mario Maker, obviously, and in 2020, we got 3D All-Stars, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, and a couple smaller titles like that Mario 35 Battle Royale game that was sadly nuked on March 31st, 2021, which was basically like September 11th for Nintendo fans. Was that joke too soon or not soon enough? The 40th anniversary announcement starts with a teaser trailer for Super Mario Galaxy the movie. I'm not surprised Mario movie is getting a sequel. That movie did incredibly well, and it seemed like a no-brainer to make a sequel. But personally, I'm not very excited for this. I'll be honest, I didn't like the first Mario movie. Maybe I'm just a little biased because my movie theater experience going there was not that great. At the start of the film, there were 2 kids literally beating the shit out of each other while all of the baby movie previews played. No joke, there was a Blippi movie trailer there. The rest of the experience was a little awkward. Not many people really laughed at a lot of the jokes in the movie, myself included. I personally didn't find the movie very good. It really didn't have good pacing. It tried to cram too much in a really short runtime, and it ends up doing this usual thing that a lot of kids' movies do nowadays, where they just jump from set piece to set piece without really any breathing room between scenes or any cohesion. Part of this movie kind of just feels like a bunch of Nintendo Switch game advertisements stitched together to make a film. And in the theater, there were obviously a handful of people swaying out whenever there was a reference to something that they recognize. I personally can't stand movies like this where they expect you to point at the screen and say, "I know what that is! Honey, get in here! They're on the Rainbow Road from the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe game only on Nintendo Switch systems!" And don't even get me started on the voice acting. I will never forgive them shafting Charles Martinet in favor of fucking Chris Pratt. Koopas! The Mario movie is a mess. I just hope that they can improve it with its upcoming sequel. But considering how they're likely cramming both Super Mario World and the Super Mario Galaxy games into a single film plot, it might be too much for one film and suffer the same pacing issues, assuming they don't give it a longer runtime. But I won't lie, there's like a small part of me that's still pretty interested in seeing how they'll pull this off. While I'm not excited now, I'll keep an eye on this, and maybe my mind can change. Who knows? Oh, and speaking of the Mario Galaxy games, they also announced re-releases of them, Mario Galaxy 1+2. Essentially, they're doing the same thing they did with the first two Pikmin games, releasing them on one cartridge, but you can buy them digitally separately if you prefer one game over the other. I think this is great because I don't plan on buying Galaxy 1, mainly because I bought Mario 3D All-Stars back in 2020, which Mario Galaxy 1 was included in that collection for those who don't know. I'll definitely be picking up Galaxy 2. Maybe I'm just a corporate sheep who can't help but eat up the same game being sold back to me, but I love Super Mario Galaxy 2. It's one of my favorite games ever, and it's my #1 favorite Mario game. Sorry Galaxy 1 fans, but I've always preferred the sequel, even back when it first came out. This isn't me just saying this to be different. Even if it lacks the traumatic Rosalina backstory book, which they're apparently selling as a real physical book now? Huh. Neat. That's actually kind of how I feel about this whole direct. A lot of it was just neat. Nothing really mind-blowing, but I'll take this over a montage of quirky millennial farming games. Oh god damn it, one of them got in! At least there's a new Mario Tennis game coming out, which looks about the same as the previous one. I might skip on this. Mario sports titles on Nintendo Switch have been pretty bad in my opinion. They generally lack a lot of content to justify the full price. They seem to just rush these out so they can have a Mario game at the start of the year, and usually just play catch-up by adding content with free updates that really should have been there at the start. I've never been a fan of this sort of semi-paid live service strategy. The way Nintendo handles it has only caused these games to underperform consistently, Mario Strikers Battle League especially. Hopefully they'll show more of this game and justify why we should give these games another chance, but I won't hold my breath. Oh yeah, and there was also a new Yoshi game. Actually, wait, what? You probably expected me to do the typical Nintendo fan thing and be dismissive of this news, and frankly, I can't blame you. The Yoshi spin-off series is one of Nintendo's strangest, and not for the right reasons. It feels like it's sort of earned this title as Nintendo's weird, mediocre baby game series, though I'd say Pokemon is just as, if not more deserving of this title. But I don't know, I've always loved Yoshi games. I can't deny it's probably more nostalgia than anything fueling this. I grew up with a lot of these games. I had Yoshi's Story on Nintendo 64, the Yoshi puzzle game, developed by Game Freak, fun fact, that was on the NES. And I even grew up with the handheld games like Yoshi's Island DS, Yoshi Touch and Go, and Yoshi's New Island. I'm still mad we never got that Yoshi puzzle game remake for DS. God damn it, Game Freak. I'd say the newer console games were fine. I haven't really thought about Yoshi's Woolly World since it came out. I would need to replay that game to get a better opinion on it. As for Yoshi's Crafted World, that was a strange game for me. It wasn't bad, it just didn't really stand out among the other Yoshi games. It tried this weird 2.5D style, almost like Klonoa, but it didn't feel very well thought out. I still think a game like Klonoa executed that idea way better. I would have preferred Yoshi just go full 3D. but I've accepted the fact that we'll probably never see that. Maybe Nintendo just resents Argonaut for making that idea before they could. I don't know. This new Yoshi and the Mysterious Book game seems to have this sort of gimmick where you essentially play with and research enemies as you progress. I'm not entirely sure what to make of this. It seems like their, attempt at the Mario Odyssey capture style, like it's a part platformer, part monster catching game? I don't know. The art style is a little odd too. I'm not really sure how to feel about it. It kind of reminds me of Yoshi's Story a little bit, but it's not as charming in my opinion, but that just could be nostalgia talking. I'll be sure to keep an eye on this one though. I'm a sucker for Yoshi games, and I'd like to try this out if it's any good. Besides that, there wasn't really a whole lot to sink my teeth into here. I had friends telling me that this direct was terrible before I watched it, but I don't know. It alright.
What do you mean, it alright?
Part of me thinks that many of us were just so starved for Nintendo news that we assumed that they were cooking up so much more for the end of the year. I'm almost certain that they are working on some pretty amazing stuff, but they just aren't ready to show it off yet. Besides, we already have so many other games scheduled for this year, and we got to see a glimpse of what to expect next year. I imagine they just don't want to overwhelm the casual consumer with many more games when there's probably a bunch that these people are already saving up for. This direct sort of reminded me of a lot of those early 2018 directs. Just a nice highlight reel of smaller titles that were just there to fill time, and some reveals that, while they aren't the big boy titles like we're all expecting, like a new Zelda or something, I personally welcome these titles nonetheless. Funny enough, the early 2018 Direct was actually where we got to see Mario Tennis as well. There was a lot in this Direct that just wasn't for me. I generally roll my eyes when they throw a bunch of indie roguelikes in my face. I have nothing against roguelikes in concept. I've played my fair share of games that use roguelike mechanics. I think it's a fun, almost spiritual successor to arcade-style games, but it's a little oversaturated, and it no longer sounds like a real word anymore. Almost like flavor text at this point. It's like when you hear about a new Earthbound-inspired RPG. I mean, sure, it's probably gonna be pretty good, but you probably should try and use a different name or a different title to catch people's attention more. On the topic of catching people's attention, hey viewer, listen up! You're probably putting this on in the background while you work or play games, but I need you to answer a question for me. What did you guys think about the Nintendo Direct? I'd love to discuss it in the comments with you. If there were any announcements that you particularly loved or hated or are indifferent on, let me know. Before I go, I want to remind you guys to please like and share my videos around. Also, apparently there's a new feature that YouTube is rolling out called Hype, where you send digital points that seemingly don't cost any money to a creator to help boost their videos in the algorithm. I'm still not entirely sure how to enable it currently. It's still fairly new and it doesn't seem to be rolling out to everyone just yet, but I want to raise awareness for this feature because YouTube hasn't really said much about it. If there's any small creators, not me because I don't have it enabled, but if there's any small creators you know that have it enabled, be sure to send them some hype points. It'll help their videos get seen more. I think it's a great feature. Anything to help smaller creators on this platform means the world to me. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more from me, be sure to subscribe to keep up with future videos, and please consider checking out the gameplay channel. Me and a couple friends put out a Nicktoons Attack of the Toybots Let's Play series recently, with the finale episode to that series coming out today. I also do try to do streams every Saturday here on the main channel. I'm actually planning a quick game stream later today, so consider dropping by. It's a lot of fun. You get to hang out and talk about random shit. And don't forget to follow my socials. I recently joined Bluesky, and Instagram has been the same for years. I'm currently back to posting new art to both of them, so make sure you follow me there for that, updates on YouTube stuff, and just other random shit that I feel like posting. It's fun. I promise. I've been Sunnie64, and I'll... see you later! Wait, what the hell was that?
I can hear the